Dr. Switzer?
Yes, come in. I'm just washing my hands.
I'm Catherine Bigman. Janet Carlisle referred me.
Oh, yes. Fear of being buried alive in a box.
Yes, that's me. Should I lay down?
Oh, no, we don't do that anymore. Just have a seat. And let me tell you a bit about our billing. I charge $5 for the first 5 minutes. And then absolutely nothing after that. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Too good to be true, as a matter of fact.
Well, I can almost guarantee you that our session won't last the full 5 minutes. Now, we don't do any insurance billing, so you would either have to pay in cash or by check.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't make change.
All right.
And go.
Go.
Well, tell
What?
me about the problem that you wish to address.
Oh, okay. Well, I have this fear of being buried alive in a box. I start thinking about being buried alive, and I begin to panic.
Has anyone ever tried to bury you alive in a box?
No, but truly thinking about it does make my life horrible. I mean, I can't go through tunnels or be in an elevator or in a house, anything boxy.
So what you're saying is you're claustrophobic.
Yes, that's it.
All right, well, let's go, Catherine. I'm going to say 2 words to you right now. I want you to listen to them very, very carefully. Then I want you to take them out of the office with you and incorporate them into your life.
Well, shall I write them down?
Well, if it makes you comfortable, it's just 2 words. We find most people can remember them.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here they are.
Stop it!
I'm sorry?
Stop it!
Stop it?
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T.
So, what are you saying?
You know, it's funny. I say 2 simple words, and I cannot tell you the amount of people who say exactly the same thing you're saying. I mean, this is not Yiddish, Catherine. This is English.
Stop it.
So, I should just stop it.
There you go. I mean, you don't want to go through life being scared of being buried alive in a box, do you? I mean, that sounds frightening.
It is.
Then stop it.
I can't. I mean, it's been with me since childhood.
No, we don't go there. Just stop it.
So I should just stop being afraid of being buried alive in a box.
You got it. Good girl. Well, it's only been 3 minutes, so that will be $3.
Actually, I only have a 5, so.
Well, I don't make change.
Then I guess I'll take the full 5 minutes.
Fine. All right. Well, what other problems would you like to address?
I'm bulimic. I stick my fingers down my throat.
Stop it! Nut of some kind? Don't do that.
But I'm compelled to. My mom used to call me fatty.
No, we don't go there.
But I've been having this dream.
No, we don't go there either.
But my horoscope did say...
We definitely don't go there. Just stop it. What else?
Well, I have self-destructive relationships with men.
Stop it!
You want to be with a man, don't you?
Yes.
Well, then stop it. Don't be such a big baby.
I wash my hands a lot.
That's all right.
It is?
I wash my hands all the time. There's a lot of germs out there. Yeah, don't worry about that one.
I'm afraid to drive.
Well, stop it!
How are you going to get around? Get in the car and drive, you kook.
Stop it! You stop it! You stop it!
What's the problem, Kathy?
I don't like this. I don't like this therapy at all. You're just telling me to stop it.
And you don't like that?
No, I don't.
So you think we're moving too fast? Is that it?
Yes. Yes, I do.
All right, then let me give you 10 words that I think will clear everything up for you. You want to get a pad and a pencil for this one?
All right.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, here are the 10 words.
Stop it or I'll bury you alive in a box!
Welcome to Flyby Films. Well, let's be honest. A podcast that's been releasing about once a month recently.
Yeah.
So once a month podcast where my friend Blake Collier and I, Jameson Barsotti, get together and we talk about films that either have been or will be forgotten. And you know what, Blake? I think today we are on the fringes of that statement.
Yes.
I think we are going to be talking about a movie that will take a very, very long time to be forgotten.
Yes. Yeah. And or has never actually been remembered outside of a certain country.
Yeah. So
because it's not even the director's most famous piece.
this is true. Although it's his second most famous piece, right? It's up there.
I mean, only certain people know that he did any other movie besides Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. So for those who haven't been told by us in text or some form, the movie we're going to be talking about tonight is 1927's 1928's
That's right.
October, the 10 Days That Shook the World by Sergei Eisenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely put the gay in his Sergei, right?
Yeah, definitely. So
He
much
was-
gay.
Well, he was bisexual, I think, famously.
Oh, then he
so-
wasn't gay. He was
Well,
bisexual.
okay. Yeah. No, so Sergei Eisenstein is...
it's its own letter, bro.
It is. I think it gets its own color, too. But he is one of the most... So it is kind of funny that, that we bring up how his movies are going to be remembered because they're in, the film history books. These are some of the most famous foundational films in movie history. But it's true, most people probably haven't seen a Sergei Eisenstein movie, and if they have, you're right, it's Battleship Potemkin.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like these films kind of are in the same realm as I'm looking it up right now. How can I not remember this? It'll come to me. Anyways, it's right up there as far as like the epic films that are like made for propaganda reasons. There's this, like stuff like Battleship Potemkin, October. And then there's the other side, like the vast spectrum, all the way to the other side of the spectrum. There's the incredibly racist, white supremacist films of D.W. Griffith.
Birth of a Nation.
That's the one I was thinking of. I was like, why can I not think of this? So it's
Have
like
you ever watched that?
I haven't watched that one. I've watched some of his. I feel like I've watched at least one or two of his other ones. I never can quite get myself to watch a birth of a nation.
I
So
Yeah, I've never watched it. I know that it's so interesting because when you read reviews of these things, critics are like, "Oh yeah, this is a great movie, but it's terrible."
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and you're like, "Wait, you know." So I think it would be an interesting exercise in the separating the not even art from artist, but art from message,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So,
I mean, that's the kind of criticism that really should be done. Like
yeah. Yeah.
to take it on its own merit and parse out the problematic elements, but not allow that to overshadow everything else.
Well,
So,
even this movie, it's a propaganda film
mhm.
about a government overthrow, and there was horrible, horrible violence that just happened in this
No,
thing.
it was peaceful revolution. I don't know what history book you're reading, Jameson.
Oh, okay.
Communism is completely peaceful, and
Yeah.
this is coming from someone who is a die-in-the-wool socialist. So I just want to point out
So I
communism
should
is
I
broken.
should believe you,
Yes,
trust
yes,
you.
trust me.
Um, I mean, whatever the rightness and wrongness of these people's missions were,
Hmm.
I'm sure it wasn't as beautifully triumphant as this movie would make it seem.
Or at least parts of this movie, because most of this movie is montage.
Yeah. So this is interesting, and I'm sure we'll get into it too. When this movie came out, it was considered a failure because even though it was meant to be this great celebration of Russia and stuff, Eisenstein is just was even so weird in his day. Like, he just made these super strange movies and everybody was like, "What? I don't get it." And
Yeah,
I think Stalin, who was the leader of Russia at that time, was like, "This is weird," and I guess he made him cut any parts that had Trotsky in them. So
yeah.
because it had come out right as I don't know my Russian history, so I'm gonna be saying things that I just read in Wikipedia recently. But yeah, so
I mean,
I just
Wikipedia,
thought
it's the
I
people's
thought that
truth.
was interesting. The people's truth. Speaking of the people's truth, Comrade Blake.
Ruski.
Uh, well, yeah, Ruski Blake. How are the people of Tulsa? How are the people of the Collier uh battalion?
We're good. We're tired. We're tired. Uh, we have children that are still vaguely in weird sleeping patterns, uh, and so we're currently trying to figure out how to get the small one to stay in his crib because he's been basically sleeping in our bed the last few
Mm,
months. Well, sleeping in the bed with one of us the last few months while the other one is in bed with Seamus. Uh, and so we're trying to figure out how can we get the little one to sleep in his crib, and then when he gets old enough, have him sleep with his brother, so that maybe the two of them can protect the other from the darkness that dwells upon them. Because
yes.
Seamus does not like the dark. So yeah.
Do you think that is transferring to 2.0, or do you think 2.0 has less fear of the dark innately?
I don't think 2.0 gives a shit about anything.
Well, he gives shits to
He
you.
gives grand shits, like explosions out of the diaper shits.
Explosions in the diaper.
Yes, the diaper. Yeah, I get the sense he's going to be the more perhaps courageous one of the two, but he's still too young to know for sure.
I've heard this a bunch, and I'm sure this is all anecdotal and not at all generalizable, but I just know people who tell me that their like second one is a lot more like
Fearless.
risky, fearless, whereas the first one kind of embeds caution and all of these, measured aspects into their, their lives. Like I know with Hazel, he's fun, he's goofy, he'll jump off things and run around, and so does Seamus,
Mhm.
but he approaches things with interest and caution, like I said. So, like even I remember his birthday cake when he turned 1. He like looked at it for a while. He didn't just jump into it. He didn't
Mhm.
grab it, and then he took a small bite, and he liked it. And I don't think he finished it, but I don't think he ever really like smashed into it. So,
Or like Seamus at his 2-year-old birthday party when he lost his ever loving shit that we lit a candle on his cupcake.
mm.
And now he's a little pyro now. But at the time
Good.
he was not.
Have you guys got him a magnifying glass yet? So
No, to kill ants.
not to kill ants, but to light sticks on fire.
To kill ants.
Yeah, that's what he'll
Kill ants.
use it for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't even know what a magnifying glass is. I mean, outside of glasses that
that's
he likes to
true.
whip off of our faces and throw off in different directions.
Mm.
But both of them do that, ultimately. It's just that one can throw them farther than the other.
One knows that they're doing that,
Yes.
and yeah.
The other one just either doesn't know or doesn't give a shit. So um but the people of Tulsa, I don't know. I mean, shit.
You don't speak for the people.
I don't think they want me to speak for them.
I mean, you're the only Tulsaan who's been on this podcast, so you definitely
This is
represent
true, but
Tulsa.
that may change before
Okay.
too long.
You know what? It did. I'm lying. This is true because
Well, my wife, but that
your
doesn't.
wife. Yeah,
It does not count.
I'm gonna text her and tell her that you
Go
said
for it.
that.
Do your worst, sir.
She's gonna be like, "Yeah, it doesn't count." She'll agree with you on that because she's like, "I don't get the point you're trying to make, Jameson." So,
I don't know if you're
uh,
up on legit evangelical theology, but we became one.
okay, yeah, I
um.
guess.
So how is the Barsodi household? How are the people of Chico?
Had the people of Chico are good. Um,
Oh, so you speak for them. Okay, that's
well,
cool.
some of the people of Chico are good. Uh, the people who have
Wait, are you
houses,
saying some of them are bad? That they're bad people? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, yeah, I'm sure there are bad people in Chico. I'm
There
sure
are
there are
bad
bad.
people also.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
No,
Just
there's horrible people in Tulsa.
okay. They've they've transcended beyond bad. Um,
It's like Michael Myers transcending evil. It's kind of like that. But worse.
okay. Um, Chico is doing okay. It's really hot this month, which sucks. It got up to like 115 one day, and then yeah, it was really bad. But this week it's been cooler. It's been in like the high 90s, which weirdly feels a lot better when you just went
115.
yeah, when you just went from 115. But I didn't yeah. When it's 115, I have to kind of plan like, okay, here are the things I'm gonna do outside. They're gonna happen in the morning. We took Hazel to the creek one day, which was a lot of fun. He enjoyed that.
On my corner of the world, call it.
Do people around the world call it? Some, maybe, yeah, maybe at that part of the world.
But even some people here, they probably moved here from Appalachia. Let's be honest.
So how does that work, Blake? How does two E's become eh?
I mean,
Yeah,
you are talking to the wrong guy.
I don't.
I don't speak for those people.
All right, I think we've established that you're at least being consistent. Um,
You know who I speak
yeah,
for? Me.
and even that's probably dubious.
It's problematic, at least. I've got a narrative, and the narrative is probably not terribly true. So
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is going on
I'm
in
more interested in
Chico.
the Barsodes. What's going on with the Barsodes?
The Barsodes are good. My son got bit 3 times in a row last week at daycare, which was by other kids, which felt infuriating. So, I don't know. I was pretty mad after the first two, and then the third one happened, and then I was like, why are we sending him to this place just to get beat up?
But guess what? Just wait till he starts biting other kids, because that's where they
No,
learn it.
yeah, and he bites us, so we know that he's capable of it. So I'm kind of like, at least he's not biting other kids.
Yeah.
But it was, he actually still like points to the place that his first bite was, and he's like, "Oh, bite." So it's just kind of sad. And
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm overreacting a little bit, but
I don't miss those days.
yeah, but it's not fun to get an ouch report and then
No.
have to read about it. So, but so that was okay. Or it wasn't great. So that was last week though. But this week his daycare's been doing better. He's been having a better week at daycare. So
Just a rough week.
yeah, they took the week before he was home the whole time because they just closed for Independence Week, which I thought was also kind of bullshit. That they were like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna take the whole week off."
I mean, our place took, like, they had us pick up the kids early on Wednesday and then took Thursday and Friday off. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they were thinking like, we're gonna take these 2 days off, and then they just were like, we'll take the whole time off. They just extended that 3 days. It could have been a staffing issue too.
Mhm.
Like, I know they had a bunch of they have school age people, so um, like college age. So,
That's fair.
but
Do they pay them well? This is of deep import for this film.
I hope they do because we're paying them well.
Yeah.
So someone's getting paid well. I don't know
Mhm.
who.
I can guarantee it's probably not the workers.
Yeah. Although
um,
I don't know how many kids they have, but yeah. So
yeah, it took us 2 daycares to find a couple that we trusted.
yeah.
The first one was a shithole, a $1,500 a month shithole for one kid.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I know it's really expensive here, but it was only like 12. I think it would have been like 13 if we did all 5 days.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I'll just do 3 days.
We did 3 days for a while and then we did 4 days. Kira's mom comes and watches Hazel one of the days, and
Mm-hmm.
that's more like we've told her that we would love her to keep doing this because um we want her to build that relationship with Hazel. But if it becomes too much, it's not that big of a difference going from 4 days to 5 days. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
Nice.
he's in the toddler room now, so it's a little bit cheaper. So
Man, babies, baby daycare. It's expensive as hell.
baby daycare, it should be government subsidized.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that stuff should be government subsidized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I really don't know what any of these candidates are thinking, but like people aren't having babies, and if you run on a platform where you're like, "Hey, I'm going to make it easier for people to have babies," I you're gonna get so much support. Like people are gonna throw votes at you. So
Not only that, but what they they came out with stats not too long ago that said that there were more people 65 and older in the world than there are 16 and under, I think.
yeah, no, there's gonna like
That
I don't know.
does not
So
bode well.
yeah, Social Security is an inverted pyramid. Hmm,
It's like
that's
it's like a government subsidized MLM.
yeah, no, it's not good. It's not good. And neither is the idea that we always have to be growing. But man, um there,
There's a happy medium there.
there's a happy medium, and I think having the economy literally constrict people from having children is not the happy medium.
Yeah,
So
we're not aiming for everyone to become seven kid Catholic.
yeah,
Um, that would be problematic in a completely different way. But
well, that's what's going
mainly
to
the
happen.
Catholic part. Just kidding. It's a joke.
That was a joke specifically for Greg, right?
Yeah, that's a joke specifically for any one of our friends who is Catholic.
Yeah.
Ah,
I don't know what else is going on. Well, we got a date night on Friday, and we were able to go and see the movie Long Legs
yo, yeah,
on
buddy.
opening night. So that was kind of fun, even for the whole experience, because we haven't been to. Well, every once in a while we'll go to a movie. I think we went to see Poor Things 6 months ago,
Yeah,
and then this. So it's I will sometimes see a movie here and there without Kira, but it was special, and I think we didn't love Poor Things, and we were next to people who kind of made it a horrible experience, and
uh,
this was much better, and it was a very fun movie. So yeah.
yeah. I can't quite get on the same wavelength as Yorgos. Although I've heard the newest one is actually not bad.
The kind
Kinds of
of
kindness.
kindness.
Yeah. I'm
I
interested to watch it simply for Jesse Plemons, but
did you watch The Lobster?
I did. It was okay.
Okay. I
I
like The
did. It
Lobster.
didn't quite grab me like I was hoping it would. I like
What
Colin
about
Farrell, but
the other Colin Farrell one? The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
that just to me felt like a reverse Funny Games ripoff.
Okay. Yeah. Um, the other one I thought that was decent
I
was
never saw Dogtooth, but
the favorite. You know, I didn't really get into Dogtooth. I
yeah,
think it wasn't really working for me, but I did like the favorite. I liked the favorite a lot more than Poor Things. So
which one is the favorite? Is that the one with Emma Stone and Olivia
Olivia
Colman?
Olivia Colman,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I never saw that one either.
yeah.
For some reason, and I still have not figured this out, I do not like Olivia Colman. And it's not anything about her acting or anything like that. It's just for some reason I see her and like I just for some reason I just don't like her. Like
Oh man, I think we disagree on this one.
no,
I
I
really
think she's a great actress. It's just something about her like just does not do it for me. Like I don't know what it is. I've yet to figure it out.
I think she's the British um oh shit. His name was on the tip of my tongue. John C. Riley. She's the British John C. Riley.
That's interesting.
Maybe if you think about it like that, you'll like her
Maybe not
because
as funny.
she's pretty funny. Like I think I think you got to watch the right thing. Have you watched Peep Show
No.
at all? Okay.
Wait, I've seen the first like 2 or 3 episodes back like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so she plays a reoccurring role in Peep
Okay.
Show, and I think that might when she starts getting kind of weird and wacky and things get kind of twisted with her character and
Yeah.
all of the characters too, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a fun show. So I don't know, I think that shows her kind of comedy chops, and I think she's funny in some other things too, but I guess that was the comparison that I was making. Is I feel like she could do really good dramatic parts and really good
Comedic parts.
comedic parts, yeah. And John C. Riley I think is up there with one of the best actors who can do that,
Yeah.
who can kind of swing both ways. So I know he generally gets kind of second fiddle to Colin,
To
not
Will
Colin
Ferrell.
Farrell, Will Ferrell, but I think he's a better actor than Will Ferrell. So,
Oh, hands down. Yeah.
and that's not to say I dislike Will Ferrell. I like Will
Oh.
Ferrell.
But
So
he's got more of a shtick than John C. Riley does.
yeah, yeah, and I don't think his dramatic roles have much dimensionality to them.
Hmm.
They're usually just kind of sad sack guys, which what's it called? Stranger Than Fiction.
Great film.
He nails that. He does that really well.
Mhm.
And I think it works for that movie. Speaking of Will Ferrell, there was news today related to
Uh-oh.
Will Ferrell,
Uh-oh.
not about him, but one of Will Ferrell's most famous movies is the Christmas movie Elf.
Oh.
And who played his dad?
James
Or not?
Caan.
Well, James Caan, who's also dead, but both his dads are dead now. But his adopted dad in that movie.
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I never
yeah.
liked that movie. Does that make me a bad person?
Yeah, it does. I'm just going to go with yes. Not
Although I
justify
do
it.
like Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart
Yeah.
is funny, dry motherfucker.
Well, he
He's
was.
he is. He lives in my heart. Just he's kind of alongside Jesus. They're in constant conversation with each other.
Is Bob Newhart the one that's knocking?
Yes, exactly. He's the one who's knocking because he's got a joke whenever you open the door.
Yeah.
And then behind him, Jesus comes in. He's like, ta-da! And then they do like jazz hands together.
If Bob Newhart and Jesus were Abbott and Costello, which ones would they be?
I mean, I would imagine Jesus would have to be Costello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one
The
was
quote unquote straight man for the comedic guy to kind of bounce off of.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Abbott and Costello movies when you were a kid?
I did. I grew up on them. I grew up on them and Three Stooges and what was the other comedy duo? Abbott
Laurel and
Costello,
Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy. Yep.
Yeah.
I grew up
Yeah,
on all those.
I mean, I think we watched Three Stooges, but my dad would always rent all the Abbott and Costello movies,
Including the monster ones.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are blast.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and meet the
Mhm.
Mummy, and
Yeah.
no,
Those
I don't remember any of these. I just remember that he would rent them, we would watch them, so they were a big part.
We would watch those, and my dad would try to find episodes of Red Skelton to watch. His early sketch show.
Yeah.
Back before Saturday Night Live. Long before Saturday Night Live.
Man, and Saturday Night Live has been going on. I can't believe that
71, 72, I think.
Yeah.
That's when they started. Maybe 75.
Yeah, what is the guy's name? Lorne
Michaels.
He must be
a vampire.
Ancient at this point. Man. I mean, I remember, didn't he play like a bit role in 30 Rock? I feel like
I never made it through 30 Rock, so I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I never made it through. That's one of those that I tried like half a season and I never could quite get into it. Maybe it's because I had a premonition that Alec Baldwin's gonna shoot a person. I was like, I can't watch this guy.
Hey, if you had that premonition, why didn't you say something? I think that makes you just as bad.
Myself. For myself only.
Wow.
Yeah, so you went to see Long Legs.
Yeah.
Which is, our good friend Oz Perkins. He doesn't know that we're friends, but we are.
But he's coming on the podcast, right?
I mean, if I have anything to do with it, yes, he will. Yeah, Long Legs. And I got a rare moment where I got to see 2 movies in the theater.
Ooh. What was the second one?
Another. I went on Wednesday night to see Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders.
Oh yeah, you did tell me.
And then the very next night I saw Long Legs. And man, I tell you what, it's been a long time since 2 of my most like anticipated films have like paid off in spades on both. I was like, hell yes. This was a good week for movies.
Yeah. And I know I don't want to do too much talking about Long Legs because I know we're gonna, spoiler alert, talk about it later on.
Yeah.
in an episode, but I was just so happy that I was like, oh, this is an Oz Perkins movie. Like, it's weird, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
not trying to be something that it's not. And that doesn't mean that it was the same as his other movies.
No.
It felt different in ways, but it didn't. I think the hype machine had been going pretty hard for Longlegs,
Mhm.
and calling it the scariest movie of the last 20 years or something like that. Whatever, your mileage may vary on what you think is scary. I think that's the whole point, is that it's just such a vague concept that they were taking advantage of it.
Mhm.
But that did have me a little concerned that, well, if the marketing is saying all of this, maybe the the studios had more
The
of their
studios got a hold
hands.
of them.
Yeah, and that's not what happened at all.
No.
It's very much his film, and for better or worse, depending on your mileage, I think it's for better. But yeah.
It gave me hope for the future of Oz Perkins movies, because
Yeah.
if this is what happens with him when he goes quote unquote more mainstream,
Mhm.
then I'm all for it, because it seems like the more mainstream he gets, the weirder he gets.
Yeah.
So,
And then you really like the Bike Riders. I have yet to see it.
yeah,
I want
loved
to.
it, loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get, like, for a Jeff Nichols film. I feel like it got less than stellar reviews. I mean, it still got like a lot of praise, but it was not quite to the level that he usually gets. But
You
I
know,
found it to be really, really great. So,
yeah. Well, speaking of Oz Perkins, I feel like that happened with his last film, Gretel and
mhm.
Hansel, which I thought was great, but the production company, I think was it Lionsgate?
Yeah, something like that.
it's like one of these like classic companies that just was like, "Oh, this is weird. We don't know how to do anything with this."
Yeah,
And I don't think they, gave it to the correct paid critics, and so,
yeah.
whatever the situation is, it also didn't get stellar reviews. But then when you read some of the ones of people who liked it, they're like, oh, this is a really good weird movie.
Hmm.
I'm sure that's the same for the Bike Rider, is that like this was supposed to come out like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
It got, you know it got
because of the
bungled
writer's strike.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then well, it was the writer's strike, and then it was actually scheduled for, like, it was finished and ready, right?
Hmm.
And then
Yep.
they just kept rescheduling it
They
and
shelved it.
saying they
Yeah.
shelved it. I think at one point, yeah, they were like, "Oh, we don't know if this is coming out." And then I'm
And then
sure
one day
people
I walk into a theater and I see a poster for it, and I'm like, wait, what? It's back on the.
yeah, I'm sure there was enough people, especially because like it has like Austin Butler in it,
Yeah.
who's hot shit right now,
And Tom
and
Hardy.
Tom
Tom
Hardy.
Hardy is in it.
Yeah,
And Jodie Comer. I mean,
yeah,
it's not small potatoes cast. I mean,
no.
there are a bunch of heavy hitters in this one.
Speaking
And
of
Michael
Jodie Comer,
Shannon.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of Jodie Comer, did you ever see The Last Duel?
No, I've heard I need to, though. Even though it's
That
Ridley Scott, and I have a
it's
vendetta against him.
it's it's such a funny film because it's not bad, but Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are in it, and they do not belong at all in the movie. Neither of them, and they're just so weird in this movie. But despite all of that, it's still like a decent movie, and I would say like uh, Julie Comer is one of the reasons why it's so good. So, or
I mean,
Jodie.
I had never really I'm not sure I'm sure I've seen something with her, but like I never saw that one, which I know she got a lot of praise for, and I don't recall seeing anything else that she's done. So I kind of came in blind with her on this one, but I was like, damn, okay, this woman can act. So
Yeah, I think the other thing she's famous for is a TV show with Sandra Oh, Killing Eve, right?
I didn't realize that she was in that show.
But I've never seen that
Yeah, I
show,
haven't
so I
either.
don't know if it's good, but I think that was a big hit, and so that was kind
Yeah,
of what put her on the map. Um, but yeah.
yeah. No, it was. Last week was a good movie week. I mean, those were literally the two most anticipated movies for me of the year. Uh, and that's, I mean, Furiosa was on there too, but I didn't know about Furiosa until like 2 months before it came out. So,
Did you get a chance to see Furiosa?
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it.
I
I liked
realize I lied again too. Kira and I went to see Furiosa, but it was a Father's Day event with her dad and
it.
then
Oh,
her
nice.
brother. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't a day
I
night
liked it a
scenario.
lot. I did not like it as much as Fury Road. I think its pacing was a little bit less good. But outside of
I
that, I thought it was pretty great. So,
Yeah, no. I think I'm the same. I don't think I thought anything about the pacing specifically, but I just didn't think it was as good. I mean,
yeah.
there was something about Fury Road, even if you compare it to the three Mad Maxes that came
Hmm.
before it, um, it it felt different. It felt
Yeah.
new. It felt fresh. And this one, I think for better or worse, it took lessons from Fury Road and then tried to apply them to maybe like a Mad Max 3 even,
Hmm. Yeah.
where it had more depth on world building and things like that, that weren't necessarily action related,
Yeah.
more storytelling. But I think it did it better than Thunderdome. I think it's a better movie than Thunderdome.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I like Thunderdome, but it's easily a better movie.
yeah,
So,
yeah, because I don't think and maybe it was pacing that brought that down, but I don't think it dragged it down because Fury Road, it felt like everything was coming naturally to
hmm.
the action, and the world building was kind of because the action needed more world to to drive on,
To contain it.
uh, to contain it. And this felt a little more planned out and a little more like, okay, let's take the action to these places because we want to show them off,
Yeah.
which you know it I think made it less interesting
Yeah.
than Fury Road, but it was still I still really liked it. I still thought it was a great movie. So
I think even if they if you saw some of the seams on it, I think simply Chris Hemsworth's acting cemented it as a great Mad Max movie because
D-
I did
Doctor
not
Dim,
realize he could play that kind of role, and I was
yeah.
deeply impressed. When I first saw him, I was like, "That can't be him," but it is.
Well, I think they said something like they used a prosthetic nose. I
Yeah.
think to make him look different, which was probably a good choice because there was some. Doesn't he wear like a cape at one
Yep.
point? So
Hmm. A
there's
little
all
bit
these
too much
images.
tour going on there.
Yeah, yeah. You could have had that. And you're right. I think he's the best part. And I think how they wrote his character is really interesting, really good.
And that's not to throw shade at Anya Taylor-Joy. She did a great job, but it's just such a unique role from someone so surprising. Honestly, I did not go into Furiosa thinking, "Oh, Chris Hemsworth is going to be like the standout." I went in fully believing that Anya Taylor-Joy was going to steal the whole show, and I came out and I was like, "Holy shit, what just happened?"
Yeah. I think the best part about his character was how it made you think about the lives before the wasteland,
Yeah.
right? Like his little bits where he threw in about his children who had died.
Yep.
You like realize like, oh, these were other people in a different world.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was kind of an interesting twist, and it gave, that one character gave a whole new layer to everything. So, yeah.
People like that are not born in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
They're made and shaped into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a pretty decent year on the whole, movie-wise.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Would you say that people like that come about when there's no food, no bread, no peace, and no land?
I would say so, yes. Because that actually describes Mad Max to a T.
Yeah.
But it also describes Russia.
Russian revolution.
Yes. Pinko commies. Yes.
Pinko commies. I wonder why I brought that up. I think you need to add a bit more bombast to those drums there.
Oh man, I have so many things to say about the soundtrack.
Yeah. So for those not catching on, we're transitioning to talking about the movie because we did hit the 45-minute mark just now, which
But
is
don't expect this in the future.
Yeah, things might change, but that was your 45 minutes of bullshit, and now it's going to be 45 minutes of Bolshevik.
Oh, did you come up with that off the cuff?
Yeah, that's
man, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's almost like you should do a spin-off podcast.
What would it be called? Penn and Teller Bolshevik. Yeah, no. So, okay, I guess I want to preface this with, so this movie was about a piece of history, and actually, for whatever people think about the movie, it's the appraisal of it, even though it paints the communists in this very, very, white shining light. So however you feel about that, the history, at least as far as the events that played out and what kind of happened, if you read it word for word in that way, it's very, very truthful to the events. At least that's how it's appraised. So I feel like I learned a lot about this year, honestly, of Russian history that I didn't know
but
that much about.
Mostly you learned it on the second viewing.
Mostly I learned it on the second viewing. I did fall asleep on the first viewing. But I do want to make a point.
It's pretty easy to do, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I just fall asleep in movies, so it's really easy for me to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do want to make a point that technically we chose this movie, or I chose this movie as a pairing with its soundtrack, but it doesn't have kind of a standalone soundtrack, but it is a silent film. So it's basically pictures and a soundtrack.
Yep.
So what we decided to do was at one point, it was only a couple days ago, I just stripped the sound off of the film, and then Blake and I took it and we listened to it.
Well, okay. Let's have honesty moment. How much of it did you actually listen to?
Well, I put it on while I was working, and I listened to about 2/3 of it, three
Okay.
quarters.
You
Yeah,
probably made it a little farther than I did.
yeah.
Because it started to get a little bit one note for me.
It's it's a lot of the same, like do 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 do.
But that
Uh,
but you almost have to, like, this is actually something I wanted to bring up, because this is the problem of soundtracks in silent films. I mean,
mhm.
if you're thinking about the history of film, the history of film has always been tied with the rise of different technologies. So
Mhm.
cutting, editing, um, things like that. And so really, cinema was born within the world of magic, um, and bombast. So silent films don't really do slow well.
Mm-mm.
They they have to have movement. They have to have tricks. They have to have editing. They have to have things like that to keep the pace going. And I think that almost explains why most silent film music tends to be one note, because it has to be bombastic the whole time.
Yeah, and this really, really does, at least. So I will say I turned on the last half an hour again today to kind of go through that. And as soon as I started it, I was like, oh, this is the first point in the movie where it's quiet.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, there's kind of this build up, and it's really interesting because it's all this bombast and all this, like, excitement over this building of this Russian revolution, and then the one day where the commies take over,
Hmm.
it's like this quiet kind of underground thing where, there are these uh, opposing battalions.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think on this day, there's the so maybe we should back up and give just a little brief overview of the history. So
You
I
do
learned
that
this.
because you read Wikipedia. I did nothing.
I read Wikipedia, and I would not have understood what's going on without reading Wikipedia. But this movie wasn't made for me. This movie was made for Russians who lived through this 10 years ago. That's when it came out.
But
So
not 10 years ago, like now. 10 years
10
ago when the movie was made.
when the movie was made. Yeah. So it takes place, first scene is like February 1917,
Hmm.
and there is an overthrow of the current government, which is, I think it's like elites. It's kind of a
Pretty flawed.
royal, yeah. Um, and so there's an overthrow of that, and that's represented by this big statue kind of coming down, and then a provisional government is put into place, and then and this is where, you know I don't know, where the movie is definitely painting you against immediately against the provisional government, because as soon as they get reinstated, they're like, let's stay in the government forever. So, you get this idea that they don't actually want to be provisional, they want to be long
Yeah.
term. Um, and so then there's a couple more scenes where they, show some of these characters. There's this scene where Lenin comes to Petrograd and
Hmm.
he gets this swell of praise and adoration, and then he kind of goes away to mobilize other parts of Russia, and then the big action happens in October, the 10 days of
Yeah.
October that this revolution happens. And the last day, I think it's the 15th through the 25th.
That seems right.
It
I don't
it's
recall.
something like that. But the last day, the provisional government knows that there's kind of a siege coming to happen, and they call upon the. It starts with an M. It's the
Uh,
Mensheviks or something,
yeah, Mensheviks. Yeah.
and the Women's Death Battalion.
Yeah.
And so you have these two groups who are fighting for the provisional government, and then you've got the Bolsheviks who are, just kind of a catch-all for everybody that
Yeah.
Lenin's kind of organized.
Working
But
class poor,
yeah, the working class poor,
the homeless.
the rural, the
Yeah.
homeless, the rural people from out in Siberia and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
But then, so the music gets really quiet on this day, and you can kind of see them like they go and they pass out pamphlets to some of the lower ranked women, and then they slowly get the other armies kind of on their side, and that's a big part of how this goes. And then surprise, spoiler alert, the the Bolsheviks take over and they overthrow the government. So that's basically what the movie does, and that paints the picture.
Really, the only thing that's missing from this milieu of characters is John Wick.
Yeah, yeah. There's no real John Wick. I would say, like, if there was a hero of the film, it's Lenin, and he's only in
Yeah.
you know, two scenes. This part in the beginning and then a part in the end. And actually, I had to like look up who the actor was because he looks a lot
He
like
does look like
Lenin.
Lennon.
Yeah.
I thought, how did they get that? How did they get that film?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was kind of wondering. I was like, is this like archival footage of
Yeah.
Lenin? No. No, it's not. But
Yeah. No, it was fascinating. I'd always known about this revolution, but I'd never read anything about it. Like I'd never actually taken the time to read up on it. I still haven't. I've only watched this movie. Um, but I feel like it gave me a pretty good overview of the event, even if it's like quote unquote propaganda. Um, like you said, the appraisal of it is still that it like largely gets the facts right.
mhm.
And uh, Eisenstein is a hell of a filmmaker. I mean, the guy was doing some crazy drugs because I don't know what he was thinking at times. Like the montages on this movie are like batshit crazy at times. Because at one point he's like comparing one of the bourgeoisie people in control to like a
Peacock.
circus horse or yeah, peacock or like
Yeah.
yeah, and then so you're just like, what is going on? Like, I mean, yes, if you break it down, you can see what he's talking about, but in the moment when you're just seeing all these images like edited together, you're like, whoa. Like, I feel like I'm basically just getting brainwashed with a bunch of images and
Yeah.
trying to figure out what he's trying to do here.
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting, and I kept thinking about this too. I think silent films tend to, black and white films in
Mm,
general, people are like, "Oh, that's black and white, it's boring."
no,
Um,
no.
and it's not. I would almost say maybe the criticism isn't that it's boring, it's just hard to connect with. Um, and yeah, I think some black and white films, it's a different time. You
Mhm.
can't connect with it. I don't think that is at all the reason why you can't connect with this movie. I think
Kidding.
I think I think it's just hard to understand what's going on, in a linear way.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a
Unless
linear
you're reading
story.
every single section of the subtitles, um, like you're being mindful of what they're saying, when they're saying it, and the linearity of what they're saying. That's the only way you can make heads or tails of what you're watching. But no
Yeah.
one's doing that because they're so like saturated in these random flickering images. So you're like, what? Okay, I just lost track of what is being said now. Like,
Yeah, and I don't know. It just feels very experimental, even
yeah,
if you were to make it today, right? It
yeah,
would
it would be.
it
It
would
it
f-
it struck me as very much ahead of its time. Like,
yeah, very kind of outside of time in a
yeah,
sense. Um
because not even Battleship Potemkin is that experimental. Battleship Potemkin largely is pretty linear, um, in the way he approaches it, but this is just wild.
yeah, this is wild. And I think Battleship Potemkin is still a really good
Oh, it's
movie
great. Yeah,
too.
first time I saw it was at Circle Cinema with a live organ player.
Ooh.
That's about the only way I can enjoy uh, silent film music, because if it's like in person and there's someone actually playing it while the movie's running, it's badass.
So you did not enjoy listening to the soundtrack.
No, I did not enjoy it. No, but but that's what made me like. That's actually what got me on this idea of what about silent films and its music is because I was like, how is how is this largely any different? Like, what is it about this music for silent films that is so significantly more quote unquote annoying or boring or bombastic or choose your adjective like whatever. What is it about this that makes it that much harder to kind of get in tune with compared to like modern soundtracks? Uh, I think it got me down like a rabbit hole of like thinking on the nature of silent film and how it depended on movement because it
Mhm.
wasn't allowed the luxury of silence. Um,
Mhm.
because you're dealing with an art form that had not ever been seen before or had been seen very rarely, and you had to get butts in the seats, and that's not going to happen with silence. So, um, at least with talkies, like silence can kind of read as dramatic or tense or pick your poison scary. Um, that's harder to do because in silent film, it's silent because there's no sound, and so that is an external factor. Um, silent because the organ player got you know carpal tunnel and can't play anymore.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think at first blush you think, does this music really match with what's on screen? And you might think no, but then you said some things that were interesting to me, which was, you know, it it fits the fact that it's silent, and it pairs with that in a sense. And I also think too, the way a lot of silent films are, and especially Eisenstein, we mentioned
Hmm.
the montage continuity is almost like actively being broken down,
Yeah.
right? You've got these discrete pictures kind of jumping, here
Hmm.
and there, and all of these different things, and it creates kind of this chaotic uh, system in your mind of this story.
Yeah.
And the bombast kind of pairs with that in a
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
So you've got chaos going from the music, and you've got chaos going from the pictures, and it is kind of a miracle that some of it works,
Yeah.
right? That like
Hmm.
that you could watch this and you could get a history lesson from it.
Yeah.
um and I think that's what's kind of wild. And maybe maybe you go in and you're like, I did not enjoy that, but I think you would still concede those two things, that like it's this chaotic system from start to finish, and it somehow communicates a coherent thing.
Yeah.
So, um, which is kind of fascinating. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a it. I mean, there's a reason why Eisenstein is got
yeah.
the plaudits he's gotten over the years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of those things where directors like him, they have a very specific lane that they're in, and the fact that you can even like I used to always say that I want a movie that is complicated in how it deals with humanity or deals with the actions of humanity or whatever it may be. I don't want propaganda. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be force fed a moral. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's fascinating that someone like Eisenstein, who can largely basically toe the party line of communist Russia with his films, can do them in such a way that like they don't actually feel like propaganda. They feel like legitimate like explorations of a period of history
Mm-hmm.
and enjoyable in their own way. Um, and endlessly like they can be endlessly analyzed.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, even just one thing that strikes me is just how interesting everyone looks
yeah,
in this movie, right? And it's almost like he got the weirdest people together for this movie
hmm,
intentionally, and they're all they all have just such distinctive facial hair, and they're wearing weird hats and things like that. I asked Kira, I was like, do you think in 80 years people will watch movies from now and be like, oh man, people from that time were so cool looking? Or will
yeah,
they
possible.
potentially? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing how distinctive we all look, but man, just watching everybody in this movie, everyone had their own shape and size and facial feature, and it felt less less kind of like monolithic
Yeah.
model types, I guess, is maybe the thing. And it's largely extras because there weren't really professional actors. I mean, there were
Yeah.
some, but not
But even then, it was not professional in the
not
same way it is now.
yeah, yeah. And the movie doesn't have kind of main characters, like, except for the guy who plays, there's a couple like reoccurring characters
Yeah.
who might give speeches, and then Lenin and stuff.
I feel like the head of
Um,
the provisional government has a pretty sizable role
hmm
as kind of the
Yeah.
guy that everyone despises.
hmm Yeah.
Do you think
But
that whenever he shot all the scenes with the crowds of people, he used CGI to do that?
I think there was a lot of CGI used. I couldn't pinpoint where it was,
I
but
mean, it was
yeah,
seamless. I mean, he
it
did a
was
great
pretty
job with it. It's almost like he just like got out his free pirated copy of Adobe Photoshop and just like really went to work.
100%. That's what happened. Um, it is interesting too, getting back to kind of the music and the movie. I feel like that was actually a big theme in the movie, was music, um,
Hmm.
because there were quite a few scenes where it was meant to be kind of a mobilizing force.
Yeah.
Like, you would see the Bolsheviks, like, they would dance to it, or when I think there was a couple scenes when, like, when one of the women was like trying to weigh the options. You saw it wasn't even a piece of music. It was like a, a painting of some sort of lute or something like that,
Hmm.
and they were touching it. And then, when there were elements where kind of the comrades were getting together, you would see different people playing music, and interspersed with them kind of rising up.
Yeah.
So, and that again goes to kind of this just extreme bombast of just orchestral music
Yeah.
going. So,
I mean, I can see a world in which I would probably get more out of the soundtrack if it was actually live.
hmm
But man, I mean, but you also have to think about it is that that was often how movies were shown was live music, which is why you don't often find these old silent films with a quote unquote official soundtrack because they didn't have an official soundtrack. They they had cues,
yeah. So
and the individual player would do their own thing at these cues. And so,
so this movie was actually released with the music. Like, there was
oh really?
music that was written for it. Um, and I don't know if it was played live, um, or played recorded or something
Hmm.
like that. But it was actually soundtracked in the 60s
Okay.
later too. So I
Oh
don't
yeah, I
know.
think I read something about that. They got a composer to rework the whole score.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's what we listened to. Um,
I would hope
so I mean, also, I feel like in the 60s they had better sound quality
yes.
than what we were listening to.
I
So,
mean, watching something on YouTube is not the height of audio or video, but it's not that bad.
So this is actually a question: is where did you watch this
YouTube.
movie? YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, I found
Because
because you can't find it really anywhere else. I mean, you
well,
can find it on Internet Archive, which would be
that's
great if I could watch it on my TV.
don't you have a do you have a smart TV?
I do.
Can't you
Cast it?
screencast it? That's what
Yeah.
I do. Actually, Internet
Look at
Archives,
you.
their video player has a good, just pro tip, their video player actually has a really good screencasting
Okay.
uh,
Did not know that.
interface. So yeah.
Internet
So
Archive, man. I love that place.
yeah. So just so yeah, y'all know, in the outskirts of the listening to Fly By Films world, there's tons of older movies from like 100 years ago
Yeah.
or even like 80 years ago. I don't know. There's movies out of copyright that are for free, and the Internet Archive just has a bunch of them. And so, you know, if you're looking for something to stream, you could do worse than scouring the Internet Archive, and it's
Not
all
to
free.
mention their collection of books that like go all the way back to 1700s and whatnot.
Yeah,
You
them
can
and
find
then
all sorts of stuff.
yeah, and if you want some audiobooks too, LibriVox is good.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think they have a partnership with Internet
Mhm.
Archive
They
too.
do.
So
Yep. Yeah. Pro tip: definitely use Internet Archive. And another pro tip, as someone who writes online, use the Wayback Machine to get past those paywalls.
yes, yeah. While you still can. So
Yes, while you still can, they're fighting that battle constantly. But generally speaking, if it's a brand new article, wait a couple of days, and you'll be able to get past it.
yeah. Um, but
Democracy dies
also
in the dark behind a paywall.
democracy dies behind a paywall. Democracy dies when companies own the only copy of media and then delete it from their
Yep,
servers
yep,
because they just wanted to. So,
yep. That's right.
um, so actually, you know what I would be for? I would be for the United States deciding they want to buy the Internet Archive and fund it, and then just making it a public thing. You know,
Oh, but see, that sounds like communism.
no, that just sounds like updating the library system to the digital age, which is absolutely what we should be doing. So,
Basically, taking the whole Library of Congress and putting it online.
yep, do that. But
Hell
even
yeah,
more,
I'm down.
because the Library of Congress doesn't copy the internet every day. So,
Well, no, but I'm more interested in the books, man. Bring me the books.
the books are, yes, the books are more important than the content drops, but content drops, you know, articles are interesting. Things are
Yeah,
good.
it's content drops are like the tryst that you have like in your life. Like they're fun for a
Well,
moment, but then you wake up the next day and you're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that."
the thing I think that's fascinating about the internet is you do still have moments of virality, you know, where in the midst of all this detritus,
Yeah.
content detritus,
Oh
you
man, that's
have
beautifully put.
these memes that rise up, and you want to remember them, and you want to remember where they came from, and I think they're worth remembering. And you know, so I think things like know your meme and things like the Wayback Machine and the Internet Archive are doing the Lord's work in
Yes,
this.
I agree.
Um and I really think that like governments should be more proactive in recognizing that this stuff has cultural value and cultural significance, and we should be not letting, companies that you post these things on decide if it gets deleted or if it gets removed or where it goes or things like that,
Or who
because
can
they're
read
not,
it, or who
or
can watch it.
who can read it, or you need to sign up for an account in order to look at this thing that we didn't create but other people made. And yes, I think these companies should be recognized for the value that they do add, which is a public space to put these things in. But yeah, I don't know. I still think YouTube as a public utility would be great.
I think that's fair. I mean, there's plenty of arguments for internet being a public utility. So,
We're getting further away from that, though.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course. I think we're potentially on the verge of most of our public utilities getting away from that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, happy day. Do you think that there will be a revolution at some point? Do you think all of the working class, poor, homeless Siberians will rise up again?
The Siberians? Maybe. The Americans? No. No.
Yeah, that's fair.
No. I
Do you
mean,
think that they actually got true Siberians to play the Siberians?
maybe.
Because if not, that's cultural approximation, and I can't stand for it.
Cultural approximation is pretty good. I like that.
I didn't come up with it. That was a satire piece I read.
Oh, nice. I did want to ask you a couple things about this movie. I had two more topics that I think are kind of interesting. One is related to this idea. So we watched this movie, and then I watched Longlegs, and I don't really want to get into Longlegs, but one thing I was thinking about Longlegs, and as I was watching it, because of the marketing for this movie, it was a success. It wasn't a very expensive movie to make. It was, and I think we see time and time again that horror movies are allowed more than almost any other genre to be kind of experimental. And I guess I was wondering your thoughts on that. And I was also kind of wondering about this idea that a lot of silent films, and specifically this movie, almost verge, because they're so surreal in a sense, they almost verge on this horror element. I don't want to call this movie a horror movie, but there was one thing I read about it that kind of I feel like gets at what I'm talking about, where one of the criticisms of this movie was specifically about the Lenin character, was that I forget who said this, but it was some Russian person who felt that it was deeply unsettling because this person looked like Lenin, but their presentation and how they acted, and this was probably because of how the movie was edited and kind of pieced together, was so frightening and strange and weird that it offended them. And how that was kind of almost like a cultural offense because of how heroically they all viewed Lenin. But it creates this very uncanny valley feeling. The montage, the disjointedness, how these characters kind of act, and even the music, how you're always feeling this this sense of being constantly up and up and up. I don't know if I have a point to this, but did you get kind of horror vibes watching this?
Yeah, I would say so. Not so much with the linen parts. I feel like the linen parts were more like, I mean, I'm sure it probably reads differently to someone who actually experienced it 10 years prior,
Sure.
but to me, like, I saw those linen parts and I was like, yeah, it's just like any other movie about a fiery reactionary who's like speaking to the crowds. Like they're they're playing to the crowd. That's what they're doing. And so I never it didn't really read as other or
I
terrifying or and so
I I actually agree with that
yeah,
statement too. There's even a part in the middle. I actually remember now. There's three parts with Lennon. There's a part in the middle where he's like disguised,
hmm
and they kind of show him in his disguise, and it almost is goofy, and it almost plays like a kind of a
yeah,
joke. Um, and I agree with that. I didn't feel that way. That was more the quote was how I felt about the movie in general
gotcha.
too.
Okay,
Was like it it felt kind of subhuman or uh you know
I mean, I
extra
could
human in
definitely
a
see
way.
that. I could see that, and I think that maybe is getting at the problems of propaganda as film because it's always mechanistic. Like
Hmm.
there's always a uncanny, unhuman element to that that feeling of the point is you have to believe this. And so um I can see a world in which with all the flickering images, the constant building tension, um, the generally dark um, film. I mean, there's not a whole lot of light in this film. Um, and so part of it is like, yeah, there's a lot in here that could make you feel doom or impending doom or the potential of doom. Um, even though that's not necessarily what he's going for. But I think, but part of me is like, am I just, you know, nearly 100 years removed from this movie?
Hmm.
Am I just reading all of cinema history back onto it when in fact
Yeah.
it was like doing some of the starting bits of it, and so like at the time they didn't have the history of horror cinema or
Hmm.
thriller cinema or anything that had like uh, unreleased tension or um, constant doom or anything like that. So I could see a world in which it would be terrifying um, in 1927 or whenever it was made to watch that and not know how to release that tension and that doom or the feeling of potential doom. Um, I would imagine that would be a little off-putting.
Yeah. It is. So it's interesting too, because we're both reading this book, um,
Mhm.
Underworld, and I should make this connection real quick, and we don't have to talk too much about the book.
I feel like this is the reason why you picked it in the first place.
So this is the reason why I picked this movie. Was in the book Underworld, about halfway through,
Mm.
um, there's this scene where the characters in the section that we're kind of talking about go and watch a newly discovered Eisenstein film. And they're in the 60s, and this was from the 30s, and I think Eisenstein died in the late 30s, early 40s, or something like that.
Yeah, that seems all right.
And it's a made up movie. So, Don DeLillo creates kind of this long lost Eisenstein film, and I think he nails it. I think he gets kind of the feelings
Mm-hmm.
of Eisenstein, and there,
And
in that
makes it believable enough to where you and I both looked it up to see if it was an actual real film or not.
sure, yeah, that's been one of the joys of this book is he weaves in real things from the history and fake things from the history. Like, I think there was one where he mentions that Bobby Fischer had his fillings removed when he went to play the Russians, and I had to look that up, and that's actually a half truth. There wasn't really necessarily a reason for the Russians. Like, it wasn't related to the Russians necessarily, but he did have his fillings removed, which surprised a bunch of people. But getting back to this, I would say that DeLillo, even though it's believably an Eisenstein movie, DeLillo, what he's describing is actually a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's almost where I might be getting this connection from is, these frightening images, because there are some frightening images and
Yeah.
intentionally frightening images in this, and the threat of violence is always there, this impending doom, even if the doom is to the provisional government, who they're saying, was the bad guys, but it's still, it's still there, it's still being felt. But yeah, the movie that's being described in the book, it's about a scientist who has uh, a nuclear ray gun of some sort. So, and is just zapping people constantly. Um, and what I think that DeLillo really gets at is there's like an intermission in that book, and then it comes back, and there's this part where it just focuses on the people, and you see these faces and you see the descriptions of that. And I guess this gets back to kind of my offhanded comment about how interesting everyone looked.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciated that about Eisenstein's film, is that he captures all these interesting people, and it makes you think
Mm-hmm.
about their lives. And I think that's probably the biggest praise that I could give this movie, is it really starts kind of me thinking about them, and not necessarily the big
Yeah.
reoccurring characters. It's the comrades.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe this is communist filmmaking.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you think about the people.
Yep.
But
You think about the people that have to live life without the luxuries and amenities of the rich and the powerful. I
mhm.
mean, what is it like to be them? Because I mean, Americans are all middle class, right?
All of them.
All of them are middle class. It's a great middle class.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I know Brother Zuckerberg is fighting with his HOAs the same as us,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yep. No doubt. No doubt about
Yeah,
that.
no doubt.
He's having to deal with those parking tickets and just having to like, you know, deal with the bullshit property taxes and yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
But to answer your other question though, uh I do think horror is like the last bastion of experimentalism in cinema. And it always has been. Like you
mhm,
look back at some of the earliest films, um, they were largely horror or something having to do with like magic or something like that. And so um, involving like weird editing patterns and things like that. Like basically just people figuring out what they can do with moving pictures and all the tricks that they were developing at the time. I mean, it's all gimmicks, but those gimmicks become the bread and butter of cinema. So
I think shock is
yeah,
important, right? Shock
hmm
is important for any new media
yep.
or technology, right? Well, I mean, is that true? Anything like, I guess, I guess
I
I'm
think
trying to think.
I think entertainment wise, I think there's an
Yeah.
element of truth to that. Maybe not like technology or um, business or things like that, but I think with the entertainment, there is some level of shock involved. And
Hmm.
I mean, I still recall when Twitter kind of blew up was because of Arab Spring, and the
Mm.
fact that that was Twitter was becoming the only way that those protesters and those people over in the Middle East could uh, get the word out about what is actually happening. I mean, that's that's shock. I mean,
Hmm.
that is that's a newfound power that they utilized, monopolized, and then capitalized on. So, and then made null and void because that's what happens whenever you turn it into a profit machine. So, yeah, I mean, even social media had a shocking value to it.
Hmm.
And there's nothing shocking about it now, but that's what happens is that, even with the cycles of horror, like there are eras of horror that some new style or new subgenre comes out and it's shocking because either hasn't been done before, it hasn't been done like this,
Hmm.
but then everyone repeats it afterwards and it becomes just another
Yeah,
form.
yeah.
So
But but I do think that a lot of times, you know, horror is always still very much related to independent cinema, and I think the independents are always trying to kind of do something new for better or worse.
yeah,
There's a lot of terrible new ideas.
yeah. Like
But
I would rather go watch a really shitty horror movie than watch a really shitty any other genre.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I wonder too if in my mind there's just kind of this hope or expectation that maybe, or even probability, like I'm like, oh, the probability is in the favor of the horror genre
hmm
that I
yep.
might see something new, I might see something shocking, because I do think that horror really takes up that mantle of trying to shock you, which, as we're talking about, was kind of the at the beginning of
hmm
cinema. this shocking new thing. I was also thinking of the horror aspect of this film, just from the fact that, how much old things remind us of our mortality, right?
Mhm.
And I was thinking about how, like, every movie, eventually everyone who's in it is dead, right? They're all kind of ghosts, and
And every
how
time you
spook.
watch the movie afterwards, you release them into the atmosphere,
That's true.
just
It's
like memes.
just like gifts, yeah.
Yep.
If you use too many Bob Newhart gifts, you're gonna get haunted by Bob Newhart.
I still think that's one of your most brilliant ideas. And I know you
I
came up with it offhand, but I think about it often.
I just like it. I think about. I mean, it gives more weight when I use like a Michael Jackson gif, and something I would just like kind of offhand throw. I'm like, oh, I'm using a piece of Michael Jackson. His ghost is in this thing.
Yeah.
Um, and
There's a little
and
piece of Neverland in all of us.
yeah, ugh, ugh, not good. Um, I use a lot of Arrested Development memes, and now we have both Carl Weathers and Lucille Bluth, Jessica Walters.
Mhm.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But they can haunt me any day,
Yep. Anytime they want,
anytime they want.
as long as they make me laugh.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I I've thought about it a lot, and I think Lucille Bluth is the funniest character on Arrested Development.
I mean, it's a freaking those first 3 seasons. It's
It's a
awesome.
tough call. You know what? I even like season 4 quite a bit. I I know that's when it started to go downhill, but and to be honest, I haven't finished season 5. We started watching it, and it didn't feel right, and I probably will get around to it.
Yeah.
But season 4, I still think about a lot of those jokes, and some of those lines have embedded into my mind, and so I think I have to give it credit
I
for.
never got around to watching the remixed version because I
You
remember they
know,
released the version that originally was on there, and it was almost character centric each
yeah,
episode, and then that went over like a lead balloon, and they quote unquote remixed it to
yeah,
be more like the old ones, and I
and
never saw it.
I think I watched a few of them, and I honestly, you know, I was like, oh, I was hoping to watch the original, and I don't know if you can watch the original version,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's unfortunate.
yeah, who knows? I mean, this
Why
is again,
why can't they be like Kanye and just like put out various versions of an album?
yeah, exactly. Well, any more thoughts on the 10 days that shook the world?
No, no, I I'm all about the working class. That's all I got to add. And I
So
think
what you're saying,
revolution is not going to happen again.
what you're
Capitalism has
saying,
won.
what you're saying is you're big on JD Vance, right? Is that
Oh, huge, huge, huge.
huge? That's what he's saying huge a lot now
Yeah, he
too.
is.
He
Yeah, he
he
is.
has to say it. He has got a quota to fill,
Yeah, oh
I'm
gosh.
sure.
I wonder how long it'll take for him to get destroyed like Mike Pence.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I I was reading an article where he laid out the goal of the the populist MAGA movement as this workers forward thing, and that's what he was saying. But then the guy is friends with so many billionaires that I'm just like, I don't know if I believe you. I just and ultimately, I think that's what bothers me is that it's this mask of we're for the everyman, but really the people who are in power are the elites. They're not actually the everyman. And so,
Well,
you get that on both sides, but
if it makes you feel any better, I don't really believe that most of the politicians out there are are for the people. So
no. I just
regardless of
think
what side the fence they're on, but
I just think that it bothers me when someone tries to tell me that they're for the
oh
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There have been maybe a one hand number of politicians I believe to actually care about their people that they're representing.
Um yeah, trying to think.
And several of them are dead already. So
One of them won't die. Just keeps on going.
are we
Um
talking about Cornell West?
no, well, I was talking about politicians. I think Cornell
Bernie?
West is
Bernie?
well, Bernie, although, even some of the things Bernie says, seem to be kind of muddled in
Yeah.
politics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jimmy Carter was kind of along those lines, at least in later years. Maybe it got clarified in that way. But yeah, no, I think he's been in hospice for like a year, which has got to be like some sort of record.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
His job's not done.
yeah,
He's got to keep going.
got to keep going. Maybe we can elect him president
He's got
again.
to build. He's got to build one more Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, one more habitat. All right, dude. Well,
Well,
we did it. We devolved into politics.
we did. It was bound to happen, comrade.
Well, yeah, who'd have thought that the movie about communist Russian revolution would lead to a brief discussion about current day politics?
Not me.
Yeah,
I went
me.
into this conversation not wanting to say one single word about politics, and here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, you just had to bring it up, didn't you? You had to just
You
dangle
know.
that carrot in front of me.
Well,
Where's the stick? Where's the stick, Jameson? I'm ready for the stick to hit me.
you can have the stick, but there's no carrot. There's no food. No food, no peace, no land.
I couldn't have said it better.
All right. Bye.